There's a hair secret that has survived centuries, traveled across cultures, and left scientists genuinely curious. Yet most people walk right past it in their kitchen without realizing its power. When used correctly, this simple fermented liquid can change the way your hair looks and feels in as little as 2 weeks. I'm talking about fermented rice water. Yes, rice water, and its ability to strengthen, smooth, and rejuvenate hair in a way that feels almost too good to be true, until you see the results for yourself. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you use fermented rice water on your hair for 2 weeks straight, and more importantly, how to do it in the way that unlocks its full potential, because most people get this wrong. Here's what we're diving into together. First, we'll break down what rice water actually does to your hair and why ancient beauty traditions relied on it for length and shine. Then, you'll learn how fermentation transforms ordinary rice water into a potent, nutrient-rich treatment that supports elasticity, strength, and growth. I'll show you how to make fermented rice water properly at home without losing nutrients or risking scalp irritation. After that, you'll learn how to apply it for real results with the correct timing and frequency. And finally, we'll talk about what to expect after 2 weeks, including realistic improvements and signs your hair is responding. If you watch this video carefully and follow the steps consistently, you could begin noticing things like less shedding in the shower, shinier, smoother strands, stronger hair that doesn't snap as easily, and a more youthful, healthier look overall. All within 14 days. And the longer you stay consistent, the better your results can become. Now listen, if you care about natural beauty, healthy aging, and holistic wellness, if you want to look and feel vibrant with hair that still shines at 50, 60, and beyond, you're in the right place. This channel shares daily, science-backed, natural tips for healthy hair and graceful aging without expensive products or complicated routines. So go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss what's ahead. All right, let's get into it because what you're about to learn might change the way you think about hair care forever. Before we even get into the how, let's talk about the why. Because understanding where this comes from makes everything suddenly click in the mind. For centuries, women around the world have searched for ways to keep their hair strong, long, and youthful without chemicals or expensive treatments. And in the heart of southern China, there's a tiny region known for something extraordinary. Women who grow hair past their waists, hair that stays dark, thick, and remarkably healthy well into their 70s and 80s. These are the Yao women of Huangluo village, and their secret has fascinated both scientists and beauty historians for decades. Their routine is shockingly simple. They wash their hair with fermented rice water. No fancy shampoos, no salon strength conditioners, no commercial hair masks. Just rice and water, allowed to ferment until it becomes a potent, nutrient-enriched liquid. And for generations, it worked. Quietly, consistently, without hype or advertising. Now, at first glance, rice water feels almost too simple. I know that. If you're hearing this for the first time, you might be thinking, rice? Really? That's it? And that skepticism is valid, because modern beauty industries have trained us to believe that results only come from expensive bottles with scientific-sounding labels. When researchers began studying rice water, they discovered that it contains a blend of nutrients that directly support hair health, including amino acids, vitamins B, C, and E, and essential minerals. It also contains a compound called inositol, which is especially exciting because inositol can penetrate the hair shaft and help repair and protect it from future damage. It doesn't stop there. Rice water strengthens, smooths, and improves elasticity, which means hair becomes less prone to breaking. And if breakage slows down, length and thickness become far more achievable, even after 50, when hair growth naturally begins to slow. Most people already have this ingredient sitting in their kitchen, completely overlooked. We buy oils, masks, serums, and supplements, yet one of the most effective strengthening treatments is literally stored in a pantry jar. This is why I love natural beauty, because it reminds us that powerful solutions don't always come from laboratories or luxury brands. Sometimes they come from history, culture, and quiet traditions passed down through generations of women who simply wanted to preserve their beauty as they aged. And that brings us to the exciting part of this video, the 2-week transformation challenge. Because when you take something that has been quietly working for centuries and apply it consistently with intention, you start to see changes you didn't expect. Imagine this. For just 14 days, you step away from the complicated routines and allow your hair to drink in nutrients that support strength, shine, and resilience. Imagine shedding less in the shower, feeling smoother strands between your fingers, seeing fewer broken pieces on your comb, and knowing that even at 50, 60, or beyond, your hair can still surprise you. So yes, rice water sounds simple, but simple does not mean weak. In fact, some of the most effective anti-aging and pro-growth strategies in the world are simple. Hydration, good nutrition, scalp circulation, and natural treatments that reinforce the hair from root to tip. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you how to make fermented rice water properly, because fermentation is where things get even more interesting, and where most people unknowingly get it wrong. Now, this is where rice water stops being just rice water and becomes something far more powerful. And it all happens through a process called fermentation. Fermentation is simply nature's way of enhancing and transforming nutrients. When rice water sits for a period of time at room temperature, beneficial microorganisms begin to break down the starches and release compounds that make the liquid more acidic, more active, and more absorbable for the scalp and hair. Let me tell you why that matters. Your scalp naturally sits at a slightly acidic pH. Most shampoos, conditioners, and hair treatments push that balance too high, causing frizz, dryness, and cuticle damage over time. But once rice water has fermented, its pH drops closer to what your scalp actually prefers. That lower pH helps seal the hair cuticle, making strands smoother, shinier, and less prone to breakage, especially as we age and hair loses resilience. During fermentation, nutrients become more potent and more bioavailable. That means your hair can actually use them instead of wasting them. This includes amino acids that help strengthen the structure of each strand, inositol, which penetrates and repairs damaged hair from within, antioxidants, which help protect against oxidative stress, vitamins B, C, and E, which support scalp health and shine. The result? Better absorption, better protection, and better performance without harsh chemicals or expensive formulations. And what does this mean practically in the real world on real hair? Hair feels stronger, especially at the ends. Breakage may decrease, allowing length retention. Shedding may reduce, especially around the hairline. Elasticity improves, which helps prevent snapping during styling. Strands look shinier, smoother, and more hydrated. Some people even notice their hair feels thicker to the touch, simply because the cuticles are lying flatter and retaining moisture more effectively. But here's the part most people don't know, and the reason many DIY attempts fail. None of these benefits fully activate unless the rice water has actually fermented. Without fermentation, you're applying nutrients in their raw, less absorbable state. It's like swallowing whole vitamins instead of letting them dissolve. Your body just can't use them as effectively. So when you hear people say, rice water didn't work for me, 9 times out of 10, it's because they never let nature do its job through fermentation. Because here's the deeper truth. Healthy, youthful hair is not reserved for the young. It's not reserved for influencers or genetics or good luck. Your hair is alive. Your follicles respond to care, nourishment, and protection at 20, 40, 60, and beyond. And when we give the hair what it actually needs, even for just 2 weeks, we begin to see possibilities again. Don't skip this part, because this exact process determines your results. One wrong step and you'll end up with just cloudy water, not the powerful fermented hair elixir we're after. So here's how to do it right. First, grab 2 cups of organic rice. Wyatt or jasmine works beautifully, but organic is key because we don't want pesticides or residue interfering with fermentation. Add 4 cups of clean water into a large glass or ceramic bowl. Now swirl, really swirl. This helps pull off the dirt, dust, and surface starches. Drain that water out, then rinse again and again until the water runs clearer. This part feels tedious, but trust me, it prevents that sticky film that can weigh down your hair later. Once your rice is clean, add 2 cups of fresh water back in. Let the rice sit at room temperature for about 2 hours. This helps the nutrients infuse into the water before fermentation kicks in. After 2 hours, strain the liquid into a glass jar. Never metal, because metal can alter the fermentation environment. Now comes the magic. Leave it uncovered or loosely covered at room temperature for 48 hours. During this time, beneficial microbes start breaking down the rice starches. The pH drops, nutrients unlock, and your plain rice water turns into a stronger, more scalp-friendly tonic. At around hour 48, you may notice a very light fizz, tiny bubbles, or a slight sour scent. Don't panic. That's the good stuff. That means fermentation is working. If it smells rotten, like sulfur or sewage, throw it out. That's bacterial contamination, not fermentation. Once it's ready, cover it tightly and store it in the fridge. This slows down fermentation and keeps your rice water active and usable for up to a week. A few quick notes, so you don't sabotage your results. Don't use hot water, it kills the microbes we need. Don't use plastic containers, chemicals can leach into the liquid. And don't rush the 48-hour window. Less time, weak. More time, over-fermented. Let's talk about the part where most people fail. Because yes, most people use rice water, but very, very few use it correctly. And that's exactly why they don't see results. Here's how to do it right. Start with clean or slightly damp hair. Pour your fermented rice water into an applicator bottle and apply it directly to your scalp first. This is where the shedding and the thinning start, so we don't skip the root. Then, work it through the length of your hair until everything is coated. Massage gently because that stimulation increases blood flow and boosts absorption. Now leave it in for 20 minutes, not 5, not 10. Give it the full 20. That's how long it takes for the cuticle to soften and allow nutrients in. After 20 minutes, rinse thoroughly, like thoroughly. No residue, no sour smell left behind. And then that's it. No overnight soaking, no sleeping in it, no extra complications. Simple and scientific. For best results, repeat twice a week. Not daily, because daily causes protein overload and dryness. Twice a week hits the sweet spot between stimulation and recovery. So what should you expect? Week 1, you'll notice smoother strands, less frizz, and a surface shine that catches the light in a way you haven't seen in years. Your hair will feel calmer, less rebellious. Week 2, this is where the confidence kicks in. Shedding starts to reduce, breakage eases up, and you'll finally feel that softness and manageability that makes wash day less of a battle and more of a reset. Now, Let's address the fears, because I know you're thinking them. Yes, there's a slight sour scent, but if it smells rotten, toss it. If you have a sensitive scalp, dilute with water before applying. Worried about buildup? Rinse well and avoid daily use. These are not deal breakers, they're just part of learning your hair. But here's the real secret. Stopping early is the #1 reason people miss results. This is not a one-and-done miracle. It's a consistency miracle. And once you lock that into your routine, it changes everything. Because healthy, resilient, beautiful hair is possible at any age. And frankly, after 50, you deserve hair that reflects your power, your wisdom, and your vitality. If this helped you, make sure you like and subscribe for more daily natural hair growth tips and age-inclusive healthy hair guidance. We're just getting started.